think I ever talked about this part of why I went with Time Machine Creative as my handle and my brand. I grew up as a movie fan in general. Action and sci-fi movies were up there in the ranks of movies that I like to watch. And Back to the Future is one of those movies that stood out that I really liked, right? And I don't know, as I got older, I don't know if it was subconscious or conscious. I realized there's no Mexicans in this movie. There's no brown people leading movies like this. And growing up, what we had was like Selena, La Bamba, Stand and Deliver, things like that, which are great movies. But I wasn't seeing the Mexican kid that built his own time machine and went back to the future, so on and so forth. And one of the first kind of like logos that I created was an El Camino with the flux capacitor situation on the back, like the DeLorean. And it was just something that I thought was cool. And I remember one time I told this to a person. I explained, the El Camino and the time machine and, me being Mexican American. And he kind of like responded with, oh, kind of like a Cheech and Chong type thing. And then he proceeded to do a really bad Cheech impression and described opening a window to the El Camino and a cloud of smoke comes out. And, I was a little, taken aback by it, but it's one of those things that's what media has limited us to historically when I was younger. And so I couldn't really blame him too much. So I proceeded to say, well, no, I'd never really thought of it like that. I thought of it more like, me and my brothers who grew up working on cars. We used to have an El Camino. We kind of fixed it up a little bit. We used to fix up cars here and there and kind of work on them. And in my imagination, it would be, just four nerdy kids who discovered Time Machine and soup up this shitty old El Camino. And so that's one of the things it represents. I think I've talked a little bit about other things that it represents, but I want to create stories where the diversity of people who look like me can really be represented in media.